One code, one thing, one rule, man, that shit don't change. It's heard. Real niggas do real fucking things. Real niggas do.
The Craven movie flopped.
What was that about?
I mean, it's up there with Morbius and all the other movies they made like that. The only one that really kind of popped off was Venom, but Morbius, all these Spider-Man villains they made with Sony just didn't hit.
That was a Marvel movie?
Yeah, he's a Spider-Man villain.
Oh, okay.
But the movie itself just apparently sucked.
It just sucked.
I'm gonna say
tell
this.
Us more, Martin.
So this gets into like the business of it. All right. So like has been explained before, at one point Marvel was going bankrupt. And when they were going bankrupt, they sold the movie rights to certain characters off to other movie companies. So, of course, they can make all the comics they want, but the movie rights of certain characters went to different companies.
Okay.
The movie rights of X-Men and Fantastic Four went to Fox for some years. That's like when Fox was making their own X-Men movies, their own Fantastic Four movies, and they'll put the Marvel brand on it because they were Marvel characters, but that wasn't the Disney, Marvel, Cinema, MCU main Marvel company making that. That was Fox using the characters that they own because y'all sold us the movie rights to these niggas. Eventually, like recently, Disney, which owns Marvel, bought Fox. Okay. So that's how all those characters are now Marvel. And now in the future, after the saga that's going on in Marvel, they're going to bring in X-Men. They're bringing in mutants because they never brought in X-Men in none of these MCU movies because Fox owned them and they couldn't use the X-Men. Oh, you feel me? That's come Fantastic Four. They have a whole new Fantastic Four movie dropping, and they just dropped the trailer for that. And that looks like it's going to be good. And that's the first time the Fantastic Four was able to be in the MCU because, again, they bought Fox. Mm-hmm. So after 10 years in, we finally going to get these characters we've been wanting to see.
Okay.
So in that same vein, they sold Spider-Man to Sony.
Okay.
So all those Spider-Man movies we grew up on had nothing to do with MCU. It was Sony made movies. Sony was making the movies. Sony whoop-de-woo. Now, as the MCU started popping or whatnot, of course, they want Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character, period.
Okay.
For their comics, just period. The top three superheroes when it comes to recognize is Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. That's the three. That's the pantheon. Right. You feel me? So, MCU, of course, they want to make Spider-Man to be in their universe. The last Spider-Man movie that Sony made underperformed. It made money at the Amazing Spider-Man 2 starring Andrew Garfield with Jamie Foxx and such. It made money, but it underperformed.
That shit was,
So that put Sony in a position where Marvel could be like, look, let's do a partnership where you let us put him in here. We'll give you the main money, but we'll get the money off this end of it. They made a deal that worked. So that's how come the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, was able to be brought into the MCU films. But meanwhile, there's this clause that Sony has. They have to make some kind of movie with Spider-Man or the characters every few years, or the rights going to default back to Marvel. Okay. So they have to still make movies on their own in that world. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Now, due to their Marvel deal, they could have made their own Spider-Man and still kept making their own Sony Spider-Man movies, but it's more financially, it's more financially, what's the word I'm looking for?
Feasible?
Not even more than feasible. They making more money, you know what I mean, with the deal by having one Spider-Man in the Marvel universe because...
Yeah, let them get billed and they just eat off that one.
It's not confusing nobody. And they also make a lot of money off them Spider-Verse movies with Miles anyway, and since that's animated, it's its own thing, you feel me? So... In all of that, what they decided to do was take Spider-Man villains and make movies off of them and make them the protagonists. The problem is there aren't too many Spider-Man villains that are interesting without Spider-Man, and they would have Spider-Man nowhere in these movies. So unless you make these amazing scripts and get these amazing actors and tell amazing stories, it's going to be hard to sell that shit. Okay. And they have not been making amazing stories. Now, what happened was their first foray into this was Venom.
Venom did pretty good.
Venom was a hit. Venom was a smash.
Yeah, Venom was tight.
But Venom turned out to be a kind of an isolated event because Venom, he ain't as popular as Spider-Man, but he has stood on his own as a superhero character for years anyway.
For sure.
So him being successful is an anomaly, but it's not that surprising because he already had his own following.
Right.
You feel me? And truthfully, that one hit still had mixed reviews critically, but people liked it on some regular shit. Mm-hmm. And the movies to follow didn't make as much money as that first one. Every Venom movie makes money because they shoot cheap and they overperform. You feel me? They'll shoot that bitch for like 100 mil. That bitch make 400, 500 mil.
Solid.
And well, look, you know what I mean? Now the first one made damn near a bill. So none of them underperform. None of them made the number one money, but the sequels all still made money. But that's Venom. Y'all niggas tried this with Morbius. Nobody know who the fuck Morbius is.
Yeah, I didn't know who the fuck Morbius is.
He's a vampire in the Spider-Man universe. Now, I stand by it. Everything's about right. Nobody knew who the fuck Blade was. And Blade is a freaking random Marvel character. So, again, you do good writing, which they did not do. And another thing that killed Morbius was it went up to so many edits, and it was supposed to have Spider-Man, and it didn't. It's too much bullshit. So, by the time it came out, choppy, fucked up movie.
Too many cooks in the
kitchen. Morbius flops. Then they do Madam Web. Madam Web not even a Spider-Man villain. She's just a random Spider-Man character that's just usually this like old lady fucking she got powers. She see buku dimensions. She ain't nobody would have her own movie, bro. And they flipped the character and did some timey-wimey shit. And the thing is, too many cooks in the kitchen again. The original idea for Madam Web was gonna be Terminator. That somebody, some motherfucking villain from the future in Spider-Man Future is trying to kill him as a baby, and him and his mom on the run on some Terminator shit. And that could have been interesting if y'all would have stuck to what y'all really wanted to go with. By the time the real movie came out, almost everything was flipped and changed. And again, when too many cooks in the kitchen and too many re-edits, reshoots, and fuckeries, you get a shit movie. Right. And Madam Web was a shit movie, and it also flopped. Because there's another thing too. If you're a Spider-Man and you flop, you still gonna make money because people fuck with Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. But if you're Madam Web who nobody knows and you put out average, mediocre, it's gonna extra flop because we don't have no relationship with you. We do not care.
And nobody's gonna want to see that shit. Always looking for somebody to say
this shit was trash so we can not watch it.
Exactly. So you get the Kraven. Kraven is one of the coldest Spider-Man villains, bro. He would have made for an epic Spider-Man villain in a Spider-Man movie. He this hunter-ass nigga.
He hunted a lot of spiders.
He a hunter-ass nigga, and he hunts the biggest game. And he got like increased strength in this and that. He loves to hunt. And he decides that he's hunted all the crazy shit ever, he gonna hunt Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
And this nigga and he hunts Spider-Man as his prey. And at one point, he actually takes Spider-Man out. Yeah, he actually succeeds. Now, Spider-Man bounced back and shit, but he hunted Spider-Man, he caught Spider-Man, he buried Spider-Man.
Damn.
Alive. Damn. Kraven he did the mission. And he a nigga not to play with. Kraven is that dude. He ain't a nigga to play with, bro.
Okay.
So they decide, since this character is such a badass character, to give him his own movie. Mm-hmm. Now, again, but instead of taking the character that people rock with, this big, I think he kind of Russian, just this manly man-ass nigga hunting game. And somebody said this. They should have had him hunting Venom. That would have been fire.
That would have been fire.
They made him this pretty boy nigga. And I love the actor, dog. He played Kick-Ass. He played Quicksilver. He's always playing some comic book nigga. Right. He's a great actor. Aaron something. They made him this pretty boy nigga and didn't give him superpowers of like animals or some shit. And didn't market it right. And from what I hear, I haven't seen the movie, it's better than Morbius and Madam Web. But it's still ass. It's still heavily mediocre.
To like veer off from like what the original character was, like that was a supreme fuck up. Like, how did they even let that happen? Like that
because they be thinking they know better. And the thing that they should have learned at this point that is when you follow the characters, these characters have survived for generations because the way they have been written.
Right.
Translates.
I have never seen none of these movies, none of the Venoms, none of it. And only one out of all the bunch that you've just named would be the Venom I would see.
Yeah.
Venom 1 is the best out of all of them. I knew Madam Web was going to be trash. I didn't see Madam Web. I'm going to give Kraven a chance when it hits the regular shit. I have no interest in seeing Morbius or Madam Web. I have a low-key interest in Kraven because some of that action looked pretty cool. But
don't he have to fight the Rhino?
And they say a Spider-Man villain Rhino and Spider-Man villain Chameleon are both in this movie, and the CGI effects on Rhino people have just been shitting on. You feel me? Yeah, and you know, it was funny is the Kraven people knew the movie wasn't going to do well because before it came out, they put out this thing of just please give our movie a chance and don't judge it by the other movies. When the director tweets something like that,
guys, hold this, please. Just give us a chance. I promise you, we're not like the other movies.
It did it wind up underperforming to the point that they're about to squash the whole villain idea that they've been doing.
Just kill it.
And they about to, apparently Sony's going back because the thing is they're not trying to let Spider-Man go. So they're either about to start doing live action Miles movies, because again, they've been making a lot of money off the animated Miles movies with the Spider-Verse. And both the Spider-Verse movies have been amazing. The first one was Oscar nominated and shit. No, Oscar winning. The first one won an Oscar for best animated film. So stop playing. Like y'all have very big successes with the animated joints. So they can either do some live action Miles, they could take one of the previous Spider-Man and like give them a sequel, like whether Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. You can, because that was the big deal. In the last Spider-Man movie, they brought the Sony Spider-Man that we grew up on and brought them into the MCU in this multiverse mixture, and we got to see all the Spider-Men together. And that shit made money because everybody got to get their nostalgia trip. They got to see all the Spider-Mans together. That shit was fire as a moment. You dig? Mm-hmm. So Sony has been trying to recapture that moment financially in a way that they don't got to split with Marvel. And hopefully they figure it out.
Gotta be hard, buddies.
Yeah. Last bit of information. Chris Evans is going to be back in the Avengers. Now, it was a big deal that Robert Downey Jr. was coming back to be Doom. Apparently, Chris Evans is also coming back, but not to be Captain America either, but to be this other character named Nomad. And it's looking like the next Avengers movie about to be freaking insane. Shouts out to Chris Evans. Please, people, stop being tricked by the AI. If my mom asks me one more time, is Will Smith going to be in Black Panther 3?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Will Smith.
AI is tricky, man.
This AI Black Panther 3 freaking trailer hit the net. And a lot of people believe it to the point. What Snipes ain't no fucking Black Panther 3. But like people believed it to the point that they have been having full-blown arguments. Full-blown arguments about why Will should or shouldn't be in it. Bro, Ryan Coogler has not even finished writing the script, so they have no freaking trailer. Now, there's some like Wakanda show that they're supposed to be dropping sometime next year, but that's something different. The big news is what Denzel had to apologize for. Denzel Washington is going to be in the next Black Panther. That is news on its own. That's going to be amazing. But he had to apologize because that was supposed to be a secret because Ryan Coogler ain't finished writing the script. So please, people, chill the fuck out. Yeah.
One goal, one thing, one move, and that shit don't change. Absurd. Real niggas do real fucking things. Real niggas do.